Welcome to this week's Fit Identity podcast and show, where we talk everything think, eat, and move. This week we're going to talk calories. Yep, the confusion of calories, I think, is what this should be, and hopefully it will validate where you're at with calorie intake, calorie burn, how you're feeling, where you're struggling at through my own process and what I'm going through with calories and what I've done with clients. But my name is Mike Karpenko. I'm the host of Fit Identity Show, 20 plus years in the fitness industry, and I like to talk everything that is think, eat, and move that can help you with your fit identity so that you can be fit in the way that you want to be fit and just be the Home Depot of tools where you've got a project and that's you, and I want to be able to supply you with any tool that you need to be the person that you want to be with that fit identity. So let's move right into calories. I think that anytime we start thinking about calories, we start thinking about diets and nutrition. And then it's like, you got the naysayers who are like, that's restriction and counting calories is going to create food problems and disorders and eating problems. And then you got those people that are like, hey, calories in, calories out. Like, no other way to put it. Like, you undereat, this happens. You overeat, this happens. You eat what you need to eat, and this is what happens. So I think and then you get a whole bunch of people who just don't care about calories, right? Like, I don't even know what is a calorie and why would I even use it? And that's, that's food for another conversation, to be honest with you. So I wanted to talk to you guys, in generality, and first off, say I'm not a nutrition, I'm not a dietitian, so don't be that person that's gonna be like, hey, scientific research paper says based against the all right, let's all calm down and understand that experience, understanding food intake, and that we're all not in research papers, right? We're not in research papers, we're not in research projects, unless I guess you want to call yourself a research project. I'm cool with that, because we're constantly in this world of trying to find things. But let's all calm down for a minute. It's calories. I get it. I am not a nutritionist and I'm not a dietitian, but let's talk calories. First thing I want to talk is calories in, calories out. I think that we can all agree on the fact that we burn a certain amount of calories in a day. If we burn less than those calories, we have more ability to lose weight. That's it. Than what we take in, right? So we burn a certain amount. We take in a certain amount. And if there is a gap between those two, we have a possibility or a larger possibility to lose weight depending on that gap. And we could get into that gap and talk about what that is when you start thinking about it and you're like, well, what's too big of a gap? What's too small of a gap? And how much of the gap? Well, what are my expectations? It seems to be, according to the USDA, research paper, whatever, is if you are eating 500 calories less than what you are burning, than what you are burning, then you set yourself up to roughly about a pound a month, 2 pounds a month. I think that's what the number is. I think that's what it is. It's right around there. You have this ability to possibly lose weight in a very healthy manner. 500 calories seems to be the benchmark when I did all the research of what I was looking at. Now, when we take that all in consideration, if we are in the weight loss world or the weight gain world or the muscle gain world, you're looking at calories or you're looking at macros. But today, in all intents and purposes, we are talking calories. And when you're looking at calories and you're saying, am I gaining or am I losing? Let's take in consideration the person that is trying to lose weight. And they go to a website or a trainer online or an influencer or what did I call them last week? I think I called them fitness. I don't know. I'll have to go back and look, but it was a name that I used them. They weren't influencers. They were just like, I don't even know. I don't even know where I heard it. But let's move on from that. So you go and you do an online calculator. And it's like, oh, well, if you are, and the calculators are all the same. every single one. First is, what's your gender? Well, then it's what's your age? Then it's your height. Then it's your weight. And then it's an ask of your activity level. And it spits it out. It spits something out. And it says, like your your daily intake or your daily calorie burn is somewhere around whatever that number is. I did mine at the USDA, and I'll bring it up here for you guys so that you guys can kind of listen to this, just to give you exactly what happened. Male, 53, 5'11", 175, activity level, active. Tells me that my body mass index is 24.4, seems high. Estimated daily caloric needs, 2952. That's 2,952 calories. And I won't get into carbohydrates, fiber, protein, fat. That's a macro conversation that we don't need to have. But the basis is I need roughly 2,900 to 3,000 calories to break even, to not lose weight. So if I'm not going to lose weight at all, I need to take in 3,000 calories. That's to break even. If I wanted to lose weight, that would mean I would have to take in 2,400 to 2,500 calories in a day. Now, where this gets tricky is, and what I learned, because I'm using a Whoop now, and a tracking device, and you guys can use any one. I don't have a promo code, and I'm not endorsed by Whoop. I just know that I've been tracking it, and I also use my Garmin Phoenix 8 or whatever the thing is. I track my steps. I track all kinds of things. I'm a tracker. But I'm not someone who's crazy in tracking, right? Like, I'm not like, oh my God, I didn't log my food. I gotta log my calories right before I eat. Hold on, track. Where are we at? We're here. Let me pull up the menu, track. No, that's not me. But some people want to be able to track those things because they're dedicated and focused on a weight loss journey. Now, through the process of wearing my Whoop, it's been interesting. And I think that for where you guys are going to see this, it's going to blow your mind. An estimated daily tracker here for me is $3,000, 3,000 calories to take in a day. I started wearing my Whoop. I noticed that my Whoop gives me feedback of how many calories I'm burning in a day. Well, my average calorie expenditure in a day is anywhere, well, not my average, but my expenditure is anywhere from 1,700 to 3,200, depending on the activity that I take in. So if I'm trying to lose weight, and I don't know that I am only burning 1,700 calories in my day, but I'm like, oh, I need to take in 2,400 to lose weight because that's what it told me to do. I'm actually overeating by 800 calories, 700 calories. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane when I started to think that out. And I'm like, wow. And it's not that I thought about myself. I thought more about the people that really struggle, and it's an obstacle, and it's a grind, and it's something that is mental weight to people, that they're not losing weight, not because they got recommended a certain amount of calories to eat in a day, because they had no idea how many calories they were burning in a day. And that was the eye opener for me. That was like the big. A lot of people are willing to track what they eat, but they're not tracking what they're burning. They have no idea how many calories they burned in a day. None. What they burned yesterday, what they burned today, what their average was, not a single clue. They just went after a mathematical equation that was on the internet given to them by someone. Credible source, not credible source. It's a calculator that pretty much everybody uses in general, I would guess, and it is what it is. That was rough for me to actually take in, because I was like, wow, if I ate 2,500 a day and I didn't go on my 10,000 calorie walk, if any of you guys, or 10,000 steps, if you guys are following me in any of my social media, you'll see every morning 10,000 steps, 7,500 to 10,000 steps I've got to get in. fasted, cardio walk, I guess you would call it. Let's just say, I wouldn't call it a speed walk, but I am walking and trying to get in 7,500, but actually trying to get in 10,000. Now, if I don't get in that walk, I burn 500 to 700 calories less during the day. And that's based on the fact that one, that's calorie expenditure to do all that walking, go that distance at that speed. And two, I am not upping my metabolism in order to be able to burn more calories throughout the day. So taking those two things in consideration, it's roughly about 500 calories to 700 calories a day that I am not getting in, which I need to take in consideration if I am eating 2,400 calories if I wanted to lose weight, right? Like that's crazy if that's what's happening. And I think that as you guys are, if you're out there and you're struggling, and I know there's a lot of people that struggle with weight, you might want to turn to a tracker of your metabolism, of your caloric burn. Just a neighborhood, right? No tracker's perfect. Let's literally throw those cards on the table immediately, right? It's like, well, I have the Apple Watch, and I have the Whoop, or I have my Garmin, or I have Fitbit. I'm trying to name them all so that way nobody gets upset and says, you didn't name mine. But you got all these things, right, that you're like, I'm tracking, and yeah, they're all general. They're probably in the zip code, right? You're either adjacent to your actual amount or accurate to your actual amount of calorie burn. And when you think that through, you're just like, I understand why some days I'm overpowered. And I understand why at the end of the week, I didn't lose weight because, yeah, maybe you weren't burning a lot of calories just because your metabolism lowers, or you're just restarting your journey again. And when you think about that, you're like, whoa. And then you think, well, what if I was a 5'2" dude and I weighed 150 pounds? It would probably tell me to go 1,500. Well, you know what? Let's do it. Let's play the game, okay? Right here with me. I want to see what they would say if I changed it. Let's make me 53, 5'2". Sorry, just gotta get my keyboard here. 5'2", and I weigh 140 or 155. Let's see, and I'm low active, right? Let's submit and see what that says. So I just went from 3,000 calories to 2,300 calories is what I should be eating to maintain. I'm still over if I'm only doing that 1,700 in a day. And I think that when we start looking at where we're all at as people and where we've been in the last 3, 4, 5 years, our metabolisms are slower. We're moving less. We are burning less calories, but we're consuming the same amount, if not more. And if we're starting a fitness journey back up or coming back into fitness, we think our caloric burn is much higher than what it really is. And we're trying to figure out why we're not losing weight. It's because you're not burning as many calories. It's because you're not moving as much. And I think if anything, this whole entire calorie tracker situation is you got to move more. We all got to move more. Even me. Sometimes I get trapped inside here and it's like podcast, team call after call, graphics, website stuff, working on this project, fit identity stuff, course stuff, education, personal development. And I haven't moved my damn butt in one way, shape, or form other than to swivel on a chair. And that doesn't burn a lot of calories. We're all moving much less. My suggestion to everybody, 3 times a day, move, 20-minute walk. That's it. I mean, if you guys could get in a 7,500 walk in the morning, great, get it done. If not, I would begin to walk for time. I wouldn't even care about steps. Start at 10 minutes, out, and then come 10 minutes back. And if you could increase that, that would be great. And if you could do that 3 times a day, that would be awesome. Morning, noon, and night. Just set an alarm that you then abide by. Because I know all you guys out there. Because I've been one of you. Where you're like, oh yeah, I'll get to that walk in a second. The alarm goes off. You're like, this is way too important. Well, treat your walk, treat your health as, you've got to get yourself fit. You've got to become healthy, because if you're not healthy, you can't be the best mom, you can't be the best dad, you can't be the best at work. You just can't. Your bucket's going to get empty at some point because you are just not at your best. You might be performing well, but you're not going to, at some point, you're going to end up empty when the people that need you the most need you. Because you're like, oh crap, I should have been there. But you know what was more important? The graphics on the website that I needed to get done. They're not that important. But I get it. I'm not trying to put pressure on you guys. I know that you guys have different work environments, different family environments, all kinds of different environments. I understand. All I'm asking you to do is do a better job. Set an alarm, morning, noon, and night. Morning could be by yourself. Start a work group, where you walk. Start an online group. Start walking with them. 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back, 15, 15, 20, 20. You can work on your phone while you're walking. I don't really care. Maybe when you come home, family walk. Great time for you guys to catch up. Great time for you guys to talk. Do what you need to do. But you got to get outside, guys. We're not moving enough. And it's proof, because even a fit guy like me, I consider myself fairly fit in general. But when I look at it and I see that my Whoop says 1,750 calories I burned yesterday, I probably ate 2,400, and I'm trying to figure out why I still have some excess weight on me that's not dropping. I'm like, this has got to stop. And when I started to realize and look at that, I was like, oh man, of course I got overwhelmed. Did you hear that in my voice? Oh man, I got overwhelmed because now I got to manage day-to-day calorie intake, day-to-day calorie intake. How do I do that? How do I just have to do a better job at managing if I'm in a weight loss situation. And I also have to understand generally what's my average burn. And if I'm in a weight loss situation, I really need to understand what I'm burning on a daily basis. Can you imagine thinking this through if you are a weight loss candidate or someone that is on a weight loss journey? If your goal wasn't to eat X amount of calories, you're not like, oh, I got to get, I can only eat 1,400, 1,200, whatever those crazy restrictive diets are. If that's what you're saying, I can only have 1,800. What if you were looking at what your expenditure is? My goal today, this is the other flip from going outside and walking, is to flip it on top of, my goal isn't to eat calories, get those calories, but my goal is to burn calories. What's my daily burn at? All right, well, I'm only at 1,800. Well, I got to go for a walk, or I didn't get my workout in. I still got to do something because I got to get to 2,400, or I got to get to 3,000, because when I get to that point, I know how much I generally am eating, and I'm not concerned because I still will lose weight. It's a flip on the end. There is nobody talking about I need to burn X amount of calories in a day. They're talking more of how much they get to eat. That's a flip, a complete change of thought. It's like, oh, what if your diet, you're like, oh, how many calories do I need to eat? And, you could be on containers, you could be on portion control, you could be on all this stuff. But nobody's saying, how many do I need to burn? And that's a frustrating point, and was an eye-opening for me to be like, I'd rather help people. And I'm not trying to be like positive Mike, let me turn it around in positive language and let me help you be. I'm not trying to be that guy. But when you think this through and you actually say it to yourself, my goal is to burn 2,500 calories today. My goal is to burn 2,000 calories a day. My goal is to burn 3,000 calories today. Your focus isn't on food anymore. It really isn't. It's now movement. Now you've taken this thing that you are so upset at, and you so think is mental weight, and it's a drain to be like, I gotta think about my food. What if I told you if you burn 3,000 calories a day, you could get away with eating pretty much everything you wanted? But you'd have to earn that, right? And then I get you. Let me say this before you're gonna. You have to earn that. And people are like, you shouldn't have to earn your food. Breathe, everybody. Breathe. All I'm saying is, if you burn it, you can earn it. That's all I'm saying. So go out and flip it now and don't be like, what's my calorie counter and how many should I be getting in a day? And all right, I get to have X amount of this and X amount of that. And how about, yeah, man, like I could eat pizza if I burn 3,500 calories. When was the last time you saw a triathlete I brought this up, athletes. This is a good one. So triathlete, let's bring up Michael Phelps. If you've ever seen Michael Phelps's 12,000 calorie diet, the guy's eating fast food. He's eating McDonald's, I think. Shout out McDonald's, whatever. Not your fan, but he's eating everything and anything. 12,000 calories. Never once was he like, grown from the ground. I don't know if I can get enough. Like, what is my expense? Let me count. No. He was pounding food like a monster. He was like, this is awesome. I get to eat whatever I want. And he was shredded and the best in the world in swimming. One of our highest, most decorated gold medalists in Olympic history in the pool is Michael Phelps eating 12,000 calories. Because he was burning 14,000, I'll bet you. I'll bet you maybe 2,000. I'll bet you he's burning 12,000. It's a stupid statement by me. He's burning 12,000. Eating 12,000, probably burning 12,000 or maybe more because he's putting on muscle, doing what he needs to do through programming, blah, 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 blah. But the guy's eating 12,000 calories. Wouldn't it be great if you were in that same position? You're like, no, dude, I'm going to eat like whatever I want because I'm a calorie burning monster. I'm a machine. I'm a calorie burning machine. But if you don't know how many calories the machine burns, then how can you track it? And how can you understand what you're able to do and what you shouldn't be doing? Or explaining how is it that I'm not losing weight when I'm in that position, or how is it that I am gaining weight because you're not the calorie burning machine you thought. All you did was put in some numbers online at a website from a trainer, an influencer, anybody, USDA like I did, and it spit out the number that you should have. As of right now, my Whoop tells me that's wrong. I don't know what's right. That's the other big piece. That's the issue. What's right? Is the Whoop right? Is the USDA right? How many calories am I actually burning? Do I really know? Do I got to wear like 4 trackers? Like crazy nonsense, right? But you got to pick one, and then you got to test it and retest it. You got to put one, you got to put it in play, then you got to test it, and then you got to retest it. You got to put some faith in, you've got to put some trust in, and you got to put some time in to get some data so that you can then make adjustments against data that you have. You can't be a jumper. I'm like, Whoop didn't work after 2 days. Nope, got to switch to Fitbit. Fitbit didn't work after a week. Well, it worked for a week, but now I'm going back over to the Whoop. No, data, stick in it, stay in it. But I want you guys to think about the whole idea of becoming a calorie burning machine and not a calorie consuming machine. Because calories shouldn't matter if you're a calorie burning machine, right? Like think that through. Like even that makes me smile just saying it. It's like, man, I would never think of a calorie, which I really don't. Like I don't think about the amount of food that I eat because of the amount that I burn. It allows me to transfer that focus onto the quality of my food and to my food choices rather than how much do I get to eat. And that gets to deal with all the people that want to jump on me for a restriction diet. Like, it's restriction, Mike. We don't want any restriction. Well, if you are a 5'2" person and you're burning 1,100, 1,200 calories because you don't move and you're taking in 2,000 calories, that's a problem, right? It's a problem. Let me say this. I'm not saying eat 500 calories less than 1,000. That is absolutely insane. There's obviously a bare minimum we've got to get to where we're eating healthy and supplying our body with fuel, period. But if you're at that point, your bare minimum should be in that 1,700 range, right? So that your body is fueled, so the organs your organs are flowing, your organs are functioning appropriately and properly, so that your systems inside your body are functioning appropriately and properly, so that you can get to a point where you become a machine that is calorie burning. So maybe on your fitness journey, if you're just starting out, maybe that's where you need to start to look. Where can I make some better decisions in my nutrition? And where and how can I up the amount of calories that I'm burning? Rather than, all right, I need to burn, I got to eat 1,800 calories or 1,200 calories a day. Like maybe that's the incredible step forward for you, which is not as a stressful environment for you to be in. Sure, it's going to take a longer time, but you know what? All of us who gained weight, we didn't gain it overweight. It took time for us to gain weight. We can't expect it to come off overnight. And I will always say this, whatever you take off today can be gained back tomorrow. I just believe that. I believe that if I took it off today, I have the ability to put it back on tomorrow. As quickly as I took it off is as quickly as I can put it back on. It's that simple to me. I'm not a scientist, but it seems pretty well laid out. If I could lose 1 or 2 pounds in water, I could gain 1 or 2 pounds back. It's done all the time in the fight world. When they're cutting weight, MMA guys, boxing guys cut weight, make weight, go back to their room, rehydrate, put the water weight back on. They come in 10 pounds heavier than at the weigh-in. That's simple. They took 10 pounds off. They cut it, put it back on. So as I think about this, and I think about you at home, and I'm not talking about the hard gainers, or the strength conditioning people, the advanced. I was thinking about weight loss because I got a few pounds to lose myself. I'm like, man, I'm back up around 175. I really like being at 169. I don't know why. That year I was born. Also, I'm just lighter and agile, more agile. There's no difference in power at 175 or 169, right in those ages. I like being a springing gazelle, an elk. Like I like that step, that pump, rather than thick, being big and powerful. Like nothing against it, it just doesn't fit me. So when I think about this, and I thought about myself, I was like, I got to share this. Because if I'm learning that I'm moving less because I'm wearing a tracker now, because I was definitely pre-lockdown, I was definitely in the 20,000 to 30,000 steps. And I definitely was in the 3,000 to 4,000 calorie burn. And this isn't age talking. This is moving less talking. And through that time, if I didn't track this wouldn't be in my face. And I want to be able to tell you guys this because maybe that's what's holding you back. Maybe you're like, oh my gosh, I never even thought about that. I don't think about the calories that I burn. I think about the calories I consume. Flip it on the head. Let's go to, let's just take the consumption out of it. Let's talk about the burn. Right? Like, let's talk about the fun part, the walking, the moving, the things we can do with our friends, our families, not staying indoors, like getting out, socializing, moving, stepping, walking, getting people together. That sounds way more fun than sitting down at a desk. Way more fun than watching TV. And then you can eat, but so what if you ate pie? You never thought about the consumption. So what if you ate cake? All you did was thinking about the burn that you're having. Yeah, I don't know how many calories this is. I just know that I'm a burning machine. Then the weight doesn't come on. And then you can skill transfer your focus just to all kinds of other things, right? Like if you know that you are a caloric burning machine, you can now start to think, all right, well, maybe I want to run a 5K because I have the ability and I'm a machine. And maybe I want to run a half marathon. Maybe I want to do a triathlon. Maybe I want to learn to surf. Maybe I want to gain more muscle. Maybe I want to lose more muscle. Maybe I want to do a bodybuilding competition. It's an elevated fitness level for you that you get to be able to change the identity that you have because of who you are, not what you do. Interesting. And I feel like if we can tackle this as a caloric burn, and I don't mean just go out there and just turn into crazy caloric burners and do nothing else. Let's not become hyper focused on burning. But to become a caloric burning machine, then I guess calorie intake in general wouldn't be such a big deal. Because if I could get the whole world, if you told me everybody in this world could burn 3,000 calories a day, everyone, who here, and you can put this in the comments, who here thinks that we would have a healthier world? People would be healthier. They would lose less weight. They would have less weight on them. Granted, we'd have to get through the barriers of processed foods and refined sugars and carbohydrates and fats and fast foods and all the crazy stuff, right? But if you were that active and you were burning that many calories and your system was good, right? Shout out to those people that deal with hormone issues, insulin issues, all kinds of other issues. Shout out. I know that that's a difficult obstacle. But the general population, and I think it's fair to call them general population. For those of you who are not the general population, don't get offended. Calm down. If you could, all of you could burn 3,000 calories a day, I guarantee this, the world would be healthier. I know it. I'm gonna put my line. I'll put my name on the line for that one for sure. So if we can start to begin to get out there and move more, and that's one of the things with Fit Identity, right? Think, eat, move. Move towards becoming a better person. Move towards your identity. Move towards your goals. Move towards whatever it is that you want to be able to achieve your success, relationships, finance, fitness, health. If I can get you to move more and be a caloric machine, you don't have to worry about the other things. Man, it blows me away just saying that to you guys and thinking that out. It's just like, man, if I could make more because of the movements that I'm making, right? Let's just take it in finances for just a moment. If you could make a lot more, then you wouldn't care kind of as much as what you spent, right? You'd be like, oh. But if we're struggling with how much we spend and we're trying to pay off debt, then we've got to be on a budget. And we think about more of what we're spending rather than how much we're making. That's a lot to do with movement, right? Like, I'm hip to this. Like, I really, like, my whole entire attitude towards calories is changing. Changed yesterday as soon as I started to realize this and talk this through and think about Michael Phelps and the amount of calories that he was eating because he was a burning machine. And I was like, I don't know how many calories he burned, but God, that guy's got to be burning like, what, 14,000 calories in a day because he was training all day long. So 14,000 calories to eat is not really that big of a deal. I'm more concerned about the mom at home, the dad who's not moving as much, who's at work, sitting down in an office, or the mom that's in an office, whatever that may be, and eating and being told to eat 2,000 calories a day, 2,500 calories a day, but only burning 1,200. That's a big concern. And I want to reach those people so they're like, oh, I get it. I got to move more. I need to become a calorie burning machine so that I can have a better life. Define me and tell me that if you weren't moving more and doing more things, out and about, being social, walking around, parking as far away as you possibly can, doing whatever it is, walking, hiking, biking, whatever it is, moving more, workouts if you're not working out. Define me and tell me that you wouldn't be happier and healthier. Tell me you wouldn't be able to do more, or that you wouldn't be able to eat more, or that you would be solely concentrated on food. You wouldn't. I think your life improves with the movement you make. And granted, we can start somewhere and create this place of, hey, let's move more. Let's just start. Let's pick up that movement and then refine it and refocus that movement into greater better things and more fulfilling things that we have in our lives and in our health. The person who moves more is healthier in general, as long as you're not eating like an a-hole. And I think that that's pretty fair, right? Like, you can only eat like an a-hole for so long before it's like, all right, you're done. You're out. Like, it's caught up to you. It's no good anymore. So let's make a vow. Let's do this. Let's concentrate on how much we can burn. Way more than how much we're consuming. And let's understand that if we're new to the game, new to the health and fitness, that maybe we need to eat to maintain at first, to get those organs, to get those systems, to get things in a good spot, to get momentum, to get energy as we begin to move more. We don't have to eat to lose weight right away. And that's the long road, right? That's you teaching yourself patterns. That's you teaching yourself new habits on how to be able to become more healthy and fit, rather than setting yourself in a strategic plan that has restrictions and tells you can only eat 1,200 calories a day. And if you don't do this, you failed. That's not where you're at. Let's get you to a good point. Then let's start looking at the 500 calorie deficit. Let's figure out how much you're burning in a day. Let's figure that out. And yeah, it's probably going to cost you some money on a tracker to give you some sort of average so that you know which zip code you're living in. And it'll be able to track like what you're doing in your workouts, and you'll be like, all right, I get it. I get it. And if you're under eating and you're moving, I'm going to tell you, start overeating. I'm going to tell you, get your systems back up. I'm going to tell you that under eating is just as bad for you as overeating. If not, maybe worse, because it's pretty tough. And I think that when you look at some people, and I've worked like way back, in the days where you work with somebody like a Michael Phelps, and you all of a sudden start feeding him more, and he starts getting faster, more powerful, and he's a fat burning machine. Because he probably wasn't tracking the calories that he was burning. If this is like, a weekend warrior dad too, right? Like, dad's like, I'm getting more fit. Well, you need more calories. He's like, well, now I'm up to like 3,000 calories. Yeah, because you're up to burning 4,000 calories. So I just wanted to be able to share that with you. I'm at almost 40 minutes now. And I think I went around and around in a lot of circles to help you guys understand that burning calories is one thing and consuming calories is another. And first thing that we want to become is a calorie burning machine. And then we can start to refine our calorie consumption. That's where I'm at with this. So get to tracking, you guys, and get to moving. That was this week's Fit Identity, guys. More on the move side today than the think or the eat side. But this is it for today. If you guys have any questions on calorie tracking, if you have any questions on your health or needing health, please reach out to me in my social media. I'm always there to help out, give you guys an answer to a question, point you in the right direction of a workout program or a nutrition plan, whatever I can do to help you out. All right, guys, I will talk to you soon. Take care.